everybody, Rick here, and today I'm back with a special Q&A video to celebrate 10,000 subscribers. I'd like to start this video by thanking you all for the support that the channel has been getting over the past few months. I'm very grateful for all of you guys. I was not expecting to reach 10,000 subscribers this fast, and I've asked you guys to ask some questions, so let's just get to the questions, okay? The very first question is from Purple. When starting a project, how do you keep motivation and what are the plans for the rest of the game? I believe that motivation comes from clarity. So if you're not feeling motivated to work on a project, it's possibly because you're not 100% sure about what the next action is. It's very easy to work on a project when you know exactly what to do next, but if you haven't decided on what that action is, it's very hard to do that, and that's why you actually lose motivation. So for example, for my game, I always take some time to do some brainstorming and think exactly about what features I want to have and determine exactly what I need to code, what I need to draw, and this way I've managed to not lose motivation over the 6-7 months that I've been working on the game. What are the plans for the rest of the game? So I'm currently working on the inventory, the crafting station, and implementing items in the game. So this is almost done. This is going to be actually the next devlog that you'll see up on the channel. With platforming, the energy system, and items done, I actually have all of the main features of the game. So the next step is going to start actually the story. I already did a lot of brainstorming on the story of the game, so I know exactly how the game is going to start and end. So once I polish all of the different aspects of the game, I'm going to actually start from where the game is going to start, actually. It's About That Car is asking, how did you start? I mean, with tutorials, what tutorials did help you the most? Congrats to your almost reached achievement. I started thinking more seriously about game development in 2018, I want to say. That time, I just started watching some devlog videos on YouTube, following some game developers, but I didn't actually start game development up till 2019, and I started mainly on Udemy. I bought some courses on Udemy, and I watched a lot of content on YouTube. So to answer your question, what helped me the most was some Udemy courses that I bought on the platform. Doorhole Games is asking, what is your favorite and what is your least favorite part of game development? I know for sure that my least favorite part of game development is debugging. Since I'm still learning how to code a lot of things, I encounter a ton of bugs, but I'm forcing myself to debug them, and this is something that I tend to procrastinate on. Sometimes I know that there are some bugs on certain aspects of the game, but I'd rather work on different ones because I just don't feel like dealing with them. I'm getting better at this, so I can say pretty confidently that right now there are a lot of bugs that got fixed, so the next version of the game that you'll be able to play is going to be way better. In terms of what's my favorite part, it has to be level design. I really enjoy combining the tile sets that I've got to make some interesting areas to explore. I really enjoy creating some interesting levels that you can explore in different ways, and I really like to take advantage of the verticality of the games. I feel that sometimes in some platformers they only exploit the horizontal space, while they don't really develop the vertical part of their levels. Genji's asking, what's your future plans for the game? Will it be free or available on Steam for purchase? What made you want to start a game from zero, and what do you think are your strong and weak points in your game development adventure? So is the game going to be free? I think so. This is my very first game, and I'm not doing it for any financial return. I mean, if I can get some money back, that would be a plus. I think that what I'm gonna do is possibly release it for free on itch.io. If you want to leave a donation, you can. I also created a Ko-fi page, so if you feel like sending a Ko-fi over here, I highly appreciate that. What made me want to start a game from zero? So as I said, 2018 I started looking into game development. 2019 I felt that I really needed to start a new project which would allow me to express more my creative side. Over the past years I studied sciences. I'm mainly a science person, but I know that I also have a creative side, and I really wanted to find something in which I could combine the coding skills that I had plus drawing, music, and game development sounded like the perfect project to work on. Maleki is asking, in what order do you make a level? For example, do you make the music or the graphics or the mechanism? I definitely start with the mechanics. I believe that it's very important that your game is fun to play, regardless on how nice it looks. Right now, I'm really focusing on how good the game plays. I really want to have a nice game to play, and then once I'm done with that, I'll focus more on the artistic side. As for how I make a level, I always start by fixing how big the map is going to be, and I define a point A and point B. Point A where you start, point B where you need to get, and then I draw randomly actually some lines between the two, and I make sure that you can actually travel the map in different ways, and I try to make the map as interesting as possible. I really like the fact of having different paths that you can take and having this decision. It feels more like you're actually exploring the area instead of just having a linear path from A to B and just following blindly how the game designer wants you to explore the area. Something that I really enjoy about watching people play the first alpha release of the game is how they actually explore the area, and sometimes I realized that there were some paths that I didn't really take into account, but since everything is open in different ways, you can explore as you like, so the experience is more personal. Maestro Gaming is asking, I just want to know which language you use in Godot. I'm using GDScript, which is a native language in Godot, which is pretty close to Python. And where are the YouTuber from who you learn the most pixel art? So I'm going to highly recommend Mortmort. Mortmort is, in my opinion, possibly the best pixel art channel that you can find out there. He has put a lot of effort into making a lot of tutorials, and he's been active on YouTube over the past 2 years, I think. So I highly recommend you go and give him a follow and support what he does. Egg Salad is asking, do you ever worry that being so open with Quantum Ruins and your ideas in general could lead to them being taken and ripped off? Personally, I've been working on a big game project for a couple of years now, yet I've barely shown the work I've done to anyone, so I was working if you ever felt the same, especially since the entire quantum mechanics idea you had for it is super cool. At least it is for me. Thank you so much for the support, Igig Salad. In all honesty, when I started this YouTube channel 6 months ago, I never thought that I would get to this point. Personally, I started this YouTube channel to keep myself accountable and also to be able to see how the game was evolving over the time. I really like to watch my very first video and see, oh, this is what it looked like 6 months ago, but I never thought that I would actually get the response that I got. I'm not really worrying that much. I guess that if that ever happens, hopefully this YouTube channel and the videos and the date on the videos could help certify that those ideas came from me. I don't know, but I just hope that that will never happen. WATR is asking, are you planning to make another game, or are you just gonna work on Quantum Ruins? So for the time being, I'm just focusing on Quantum Ruins because since this is my first game, I really want to get it to the end, and this is a very good project to learn how to do game development. Of course, I love to work on a 3D game, and I'd also love to work on a JRPG game. I really love the old style Final Fantasy VI, Chrono Trigger style of games, and I love to work on something similar to those games one day. Jax Weintraub, I guess, is asking, what is your favorite game genre? Congrats on the achievement. So as I've just said, possibly my favorite games ever are Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI. I'm a huge fan of old Final Fantasy games. I played 3, 4 all the way till 10, and then a little bit of 12, and my favorite ones are definitely 6, 7, and 9, possibly 6, 9, 7 in that order. So my favorite game genre is JRPG games from the 90s. Aldrich is asking, do you like desktop or laptop, and what is your job? So right now I'm working on a laptop because I do not have a lot of space for a desktop. I feel it'd be better to work on a desktop, but right now the situation is that I don't live in a very big space and I don't have enough space for a desktop. And as for my job, I work as a researcher for a company, in particular in stealth technology. Hashtag Save Spy Crabs is asking, what game engine you recommend to start making games? Not Unity, my PC cannot run it. I would highly recommend Godot. This is actually one of the reasons why I chose Godot, because my older PC could not run Unreal. Never tried Unity, but from what I read online, Unity as well requires some juice, so I would highly recommend Godot. Dimi3GE21 is asking where you got into gaming. So I remember playing games possibly when I was 10, 11, but growing up I always enjoyed playing games, but I never actually played them much because I was always focusing on other things, studying, playing the piano mainly. So I want to say that I actually got into gaming later on. In my life, I actually played a lot of games after 20, when I was 21. So growing up, I knew that I enjoyed playing games, but I never actually played that much. And then I started playing more when I was 21. Then I stopped because of university, and I just recently got a Nintendo Switch, so I'm playing more right now. AF Studios is asking, would you ever want to collaborate? I'm a dev and a composer. So right now I'm actually working on Quantum Ruins solo. I really want to challenge myself to do everything on the game on my own, which doesn't mean that maybe in the future for a different game I may want to collaborate. So I don't know, maybe in the future. Kanev, hi Kanev, is asking, are you going to participate in game jams? Please say yes. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say no, just because I don't really have a lot of time. Managing a full-time job and game development and a YouTube channel actually requires a lot of time. And so whenever I have some time off, I work either on the game or on the next video. And right now, I don't really have a lot of time to work on game jams, which doesn't mean that maybe in the future I'll participate in game jams. But right now, I'd rather use my time to focus on the game and on the YouTube channel. Hamza Zaraibi is asking, hello bro, how can you balance between your daily job and game dev? That's actually a very good question, and I'd love to make a video only about this question. The idea is that I try to have a routine and work daily on the game, even if it's for a little bit. So instead of working on the game whenever I have time, I know that on Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to work on the day from this hour to that hour. I sit down in front of my PC and I just get work done. And since I've been doing this for months now, I know that it's work time and I just get to it. Also, something that helps a lot is planning. It's important whenever you sit down to work on your game that you know what you're gonna work on. So for example, you're gonna work on animations, or you're gonna work on coding certain parts, or on drawing certain sprites. It's important that you know exactly what you want to work on, instead of just like sitting down and work on whatever. Jade Hassan Bapi is asking, my laptop configuration. I would recommend watching the very last video that I released a couple of days ago about my game dev setup. In that video, I talk about all of that, and possibly I'm going to leave the configuration on screen so that you can have a look at them. The next one is in Russian, so I don't know how to read it. Is asking, how much time do you spend on game dev in a week? So I try to make the most out of it during the weekends, so Saturday, Sunday. I would say that I try to spend 20 hours per week, most of them being during the weekend. So I can get 15 hours of work on Saturday, Sunday, and then the other 5 hours are usually during the week, so possibly 1 hour at night. So 20 hours sounds like a good number. Victor Bloodrock is asking, Quantum Ruins 2. So right now, I don't really have a plan for a Quantum Ruins 2 game. I have the story for the first game, which is going to end and wrap up pretty nicely, but I really like the character. So I feel that the character itself could be used in other games. So right now, I'm not thinking too much about a possible game. I'd really like to focus on this one first, make it happen, finish it, and then we'll see what happens after I release it. Tiku is asking, why did you choose Godot over Unity or Unreal? 3 reasons. The very first reason is that I could actually work with Godot using my old laptop, which could not handle very heavy softwares. The second reason being that I knew Python, and GDScript is actually pretty close to Python. And the third reason being that it's an open source software, and so I really wanted to support the open source free community. I believe that they've done a great job, and it's amazing that in 2020 you can actually get this high quality product for free. Mr. Spiky is asking, will the video end with this question? And the answer is yes. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this different video, and thank you so much for the support. I'm working on the next devlog, which should be up in a couple of days, hopefully, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful, productive day, and I'll see you in my next video.